Hi everyone, this is Shantae, aka Shanteezy on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Shantae Berry. So, welcome to my daily analysis show called Shantae's Analysis. Well, hashtag Shantae's Analysis. If you want more content, you can follow me on YouTube at Shantae Berry, or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at I am Shanteezy. So I am here with some stuff. I am going to, of course, get into COVID because we're still in the midst of COVID. We're seeing a surge of cases, but that's what life is like right now. So here we are. According to the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine website, coronavirus.jhu.edu, that's where you can find all the data and all that sort. The global confirmed cases in 189 countries, including the USA, is 56,187,563. The global death toll is 1,348,600. Damn. US confirmed cases is 11,525,540. The US death toll is 250,000 deaths, 250,585. And according to the Johns Hopkins website today, the U.S. saw 161,934 new infections of COVID-19. So again, U.S. confirmed cases, 11.5 million. U.S. death toll, 250,485. And we had 161,934 new COVID infections here in the USA. That's insane. Now I am going to refer to the New York Times COVID map for state numbers. You can get this. You can subscribe to the New York Times COVID map. It is free. It doesn't cost nothing, and that includes the Washington Post. So the confirmed cases as of today, Texas has 1,125,468. California, 1,065,460. Followed by Florida, 905,240. Illinois, I'm sorry, because I'm so used to New York being number 4, now it's number 5. Illinois, 608,056. New York, 578,826. Georgia, 417,934. Wisconsin, 350,665. And Wisconsin is seeing a high infection rate as well. North Carolina, 322,358. Tennessee, 319,021. And Ohio, which has surpassed New Jersey, 318,828. And Michigan is also seeing a rise. They just reached the 300,000, that's 302,541. And now New Jersey has been pushed down to the number 12 rising cases as 291,374. But then you got places like South Dakota, South Dakota is in the reds. Like, they've been having they have 52.5 in their infection rate. It is higher than New York, 3%, 2.88% infection rate. And New York City closed down their public schools because we almost reaching a 3% infection rate due to the science and math that we've been following under the CDC guidelines that half of these motherfuckers don't follow. Wagwan and hello. So South Dakota, and they're not even a big state, 68,671, and they're in the red. according to New York Times COVID map. And the governor is still not issuing a mask mandate, nor she never issued a stay-at-home order during the peak of the coronavirus, even though in the meat packing industry in South Dakota, they were seeing rise in COVID cases and COVID outbreaks, and she did nothing. She did nothing. She's a Trumper. Are you surprised? No. Hello. Are you surprised? No. She did absolutely nothing. So she's endangering her own people. So I asked half of these folks, why you keep reelecting half of these Republicans that don't believe in science? Not saying all Republicans are bad, but the ones that support Trump don't care about science. It seems like the only two Republican governors is actually doing what they're supposed to do is the one in Massachusetts and the one in Maryland. It seems like they're the only ones that's issuing orders to protect our people. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, COVID is really like every state had to do some kind of measure to make sure to keep their states safe. I know my governor, who everybody mostly took a leave from, which we thought we took a leave from California, took a leave from my governor, Andrew Martin Cuomo, to follow the science and data. But some of them didn't follow it. They opened up things in full capacity. When you're dealing with a crisis and people can't be on top of each other, you have to open up your places between 25 to 50%, 50% the max. And even you don't want to go above the 50% threshold. Some stores you have to get in line in New York City to go inside the store because it's full capacity, and they want to continue the mitigation, which I don't blame them. We got the social distancing measures, like stay 6 feet apart, and they have those things right on the floor. They even have some things outside of the store when you have to get in line, because they don't play that here. Our governor be driving through the city, because he is from the city, drive through the city to make sure people doing what the fuck they supposed to do. Some restaurants have violations because they're not following the social distancing guidelines. Some of them wearing their masks below their nose. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that. And that I'm about to get into. So the Biden and Harris transition. There's some hires coming out of it, but not full cabinet people because of the General Service Administration. Emily Murphy in that administration is a Trump appointee. And not she's only doing it because of Trump, but she's also doing it because of the Bush versus Gore thing. She wanted to see how it plays out because it's almost the same as this. Not really. Joe Biden won the popular vote decisively and won the Electoral College decisively. The same way Donald Trump won the Electoral College back in 2016 is the same way he lost the Electoral College. So this is not Gore versus Bush. This is Trump making up shit because he can't take the L. And we all know that's true. And because she's blocking it because of her boss, Joe Biden can't even get briefed on what's going on with COVID-19. He can't even get in touch with Dr. Fauci, nor Dr. Birx, nor the HHS secretary. He can't do shit. He can't even get national security briefings on other shit. And trying to undermine the black vote in Washington, which I'm about to get into Jaron Smith real soon. But he's doing everything he can to make it hard for both President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris to say like they did a poor job in government because they didn't fix everything. No, they're going to clean up your mess and more. And if you think about it, history speaks for itself. And the last, I can say, from Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, they had to step in to clean up mess. Like Jimmy Carter had to clean up a whole recession, even though he didn't get reelected, but he cleaned up a whole recession. Bill Clinton had to clean up 12 years of a Republican mess. Even though there were certain things he didn't do in his administration, but when it came to the economy, he balanced that fucking budget. And then President Obama had to clean up a whole mortgage crisis, had to save an auto industry with his vice president, who is now the president-elect. So the fourth Democratic president in modern time had to clean up a mess. And I forgot about FDR. FDR had to clean up a mess too from Herbert Hoover. The Democrats in modern day history had to clean up a mess. John F. Kennedy's halfway had to clean up a mess, even though he didn't live to see it, but he was trying to get everything together, but they killed him. So, I mean, a mess always had to be cleaned up by Democrats. Some of their policies, it wasn't the best. But when it came to the economy and when it came to other issues that was affecting the country and foreign relations, the Democrats cleaned up a mess. Most Democratic presidents, not saying all, cleaned up a mess. More so Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and President Obama. And I meant to say FDR too. They cleaned up a mess. They had a whole fucking mess above them. Why you think if it wasn't for FDR, we wouldn't have Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, nor food stamps? I mean, really, that's the truth. If it wasn't for Bill Clinton, Black people wouldn't really have too much access to more affordable housing, even though that act was passed by LBJ, but still there was some systemic racism. And plus, people saved more during the Clinton administration. I know my parents did. And President Obama, a lot of people wouldn't have no goddamn health care. And the auto industry would have went to the Asians. So Donald Trump is not really doing anything. He messed up everything and still messing up everything. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to have to clean up everything. Every single thing. Everything. Like, this is a mess. Like, take the L, Donald Trump. Like, you lost. You're not staying. You're losing all your lawsuits. Rudolph Giuliani is pretty much the disgraced mayor for New York. He was never America's mayor. Let's just make that clear. Is grifting people. This is a whole grift because Donald Trump ain't got no money and he about to go to jail. And I pray every day that Joe Biden does not pardon his ass. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, Donald Trump wouldn't pardon him. So I hope Joe Biden don't pardon him, because the reason why he got impeached because of Joe Biden. So when people talking about, Donald Trump wasn't scared of Joe Biden, no, he was desperate at the first debate because he thought he was going to debate Bernie Sanders. No, you got Joseph Robinette Biden in your face. If it was going to be Joseph Robinette Biden or Kamala Devi Harris, you was going to debate one of them. And so happens you debated the man that you got impeached for. So, yeah. I hope so. They might. I hope Barr loses. Well, William Barr was always an op. people just realize he was always an operative. William Barr was always an operative. He was an operative during the Bush 41 administration when he tried to get dirt on Bill Clinton. Like, and Rudy Giuliani was just always discussing. He was such a great SDA prosecuting back in New York and da-da-da. He was the worst fucking mayor. He was the most racist motherfucker ever. He beat David Jenkins, the first African American mayor of New York, based on race. He was getting ready to succeed Staten Island from the city, and Staten Islanders wanted that. Rudy Giuliani's whole mayoral campaign was based on racism. Always been. People just starting to realize that, like, the man was always fucking racist. 8 years of that fucking man, and then we had 12 years of Michael Bloomberg. Ugh. New York was never a liberal city. Not under those two bums. No. But, yeah, I mean, it's time that them to get disbarred. And I was looking like what I have to talk about next. So, Jerron. We got to talk about Jerron, because Jerron, the former assistant to Donald Trump, I didn't know he was not employed in the White House anymore, appeared on Joy Reid tonight. And your man's had the audacity to come out his face on a whole bunch of levels. So I'm going to play some, like, 2 clips from it. So here we go.
Accept and believe. I want to start by asking you a pretty basic sort of bottom line question. Do you accept and believe that Joe Biden is the president-elect of the United States?
Well, I think we should just let the nation kind of run its course on the investigations and lawsuits dealing with the vote. And once that's decided, we can confirm it. I think if the election was leaning in Trump's direction, we would want to run a course and make sure that every vote that was cast was appropriate.
What investigations specifically?
Well, I mean, there's a number of lawsuits that we filed that the Trump
Give me a
administration
specific
filed.
one. Name me one. Name me one
Well, I mean,
that has not already been thrown out.
I'm not going to get specific. I'm just saying very generally on
But,
the
but you're the one who said it. You said, but hold on. You said that you think it should run its course in all the investigations. So you ought to know what investigations you mean and what you are alleging happened.
No, I wasn't being specific. I was meaning that generally. There's a number of different lawsuits that the Trump administration's filed. There's a number of different.
How many of those lawsuits have the Trump administration and the Trump campaign won?
I mean, honestly, I haven't been following it. I think just generally.
But you haven't been following it. Mm-hmm. But you're saying, but hold on, you're saying you can't accept that Joe Biden is the president-elect. You can't name me an investigation you're talking about specifically. I'll just tell you the answer. They've won 1 out of about 25 or 26. They're losing in case after case after case and state after state. Michigan has gone through Wayne County back down. They've certified that. They're going to finish the recount in Georgia. The Secretary of State there, who's a Republican, has said they found nothing that would overturn a 14,000 vote race. So what specifically is it that you need in order to accept that Joe Biden is in fact the president-elect of the United States?
Just let it all run its course. I mean, there's still all of this stuff is not finished.
But what?
I mean,
are you waiting on Rudy Giuliani's things?
I mean, look, my whole thing is this. I don't work in the Trump administration anymore. I don't work for the campaign. You asked me a general question about how I feel about the outcome of it. I'm just letting it run its course. I know that if they recount Florida for the Al Gore race, they let that run its course. Let it run its course. Let the people, everyone feel confident with the outcome of the election, and we'll move forward.
Let it run its course. So when I tweeted, what the fuck? How are you going to let it run its course? It's a simple answer. He could have said, no. I don't accept it. I would rather him say no than give a bullshit answer like that. Let it run its course. Let's just be clear. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. is the president-elect of the United States. Kamala Devi Harris is the vice president-elect of the United States. They have almost 80 million votes. The highest popular vote since over 100 years. Ever. Pretty much. Ever. They won the Electoral College. Not with a landslide, but they won 306. The same number that Donald Trump won when he beat Hillary Clinton. Lawsuits, investigations of fraud ballots. There was no illegal ballots. Most of the mail-in ballots came from the city of Atlanta, which is a heavily Democratic area. It's a lot of black people that live there. What the hell, you think they were going to vote for Donald Trump out of all people? After what he said, what we have to lose? Then you talk about immigrant brothers and sisters from African and Haitian nations saying they live in shithole countries. No, excuse me, they come from shithole countries. The way you treated our Hispanic brothers and sisters. They rapists and drug murderers. Putting them in cages and shit. Are you insane? You treated our LGBTQAI brothers and sisters like disbanding them from the military, the transgender folks. Are you fucking dumb? You think people was really going to vote for that? No. Investigations, like people. You think people really going to do fraud? Dead people are not allowed to vote. I think someone that's dead obviously would throw out their ballot because they're dead. And what Lindsey Graham tried to discard ballots. He should not even be a senator right now. He should be expelled from the Senate. Or give up his seat. Because 2 people said that Lindsey Graham tried to, throw out people's ballots to not account for their vote. In the recount in Georgia, because that's the only lawsuit that they want is the recount in Georgia, because Brian Kemp is such a fucking Trump lackey. He will do anything for his dear leader. Arizona wasn't having that shit. That federal judge in Arizona wasn't having it. The federal judge in Pennsylvania wasn't having it. And the judge in Michigan shut his ass down too. Please. Jerron, my brother, you are in the sunken place. And then he tried to filibuster the whole entire conversation. So I'm going to just play my video for that. Here we go.
How do you reconcile as a black man in this country and a voter the fact that your party, the Republican Party, continually is focusing on and going after and trying to invalidate the votes of black people in Detroit, in Atlanta, in Milwaukee, and only doing that in places where black people vote?
Well, I would validate that Trump got the biggest vote tally of African American voters in 60 years. 60 years, we've had the best number of non-white voters since Nixon. And so I think...
No. I'm asking you, hold on a second. Donald Trump, you know what percentage of the black vote he got? Do you know what percentage? You know what it was? 12%. Okay, you don't know. Let me ask you again. I'm going to re-ask you the same question. Just as a black person in this country, how do you feel about this campaign going after the cities where black people vote? Don't you think that is racist?
I mean, you're not even allowing me to talk and respond to you. I'm happy to answer your question, but if you're going to cut me off in the middle of it, we're not going to have a productive conversation. Look,
I just need you to answer the question.
The Yeah, but I'm trying to answer the questions. These things are significant, and I want to talk about them from a policy point of view because that's how I look at things. But I don't want to wait for the election to kind of play its course, just like every other election that we've done in our lifetime. If the president had more vote tallies than Biden and behind, if Biden was contesting the vote, we would be waiting for it to finish, and we'll let the states like certify and we'll move on as a country. That happens. As it relates to these cities and the voter turnout, a huge percentage of African American voters voted for Trump, a historical number. No, sir. Do you think that? Hold on. Do you see?
I'm going to pull up the data of how many black people actually voted for Donald Trump. Let's you got to pull up information to like help people out. So because some people are just, let's just be clear, they're stupid as fuck. So here we go. So white men voted for Donald Trump at 58%. White women for Donald Trump voted for him at 55%. Black men voted for Donald Trump at 18%. Black women voted for Donald Trump at 8%. So he had 5% of the black male vote and 7% of the black women vote, according to these numbers. But let me get the full actual number collectively of how much did black people voted for Mr. New York con artist himself. So what is the percentage of black people voted for Donald Trump? So the Atlanta Voice said Donald Trump got 12% of the black men vote and only 8%. But other number says 18. Those are not numbers that you want to praise for the black people vote. Joe Biden got 91% of black women vote and 80% of black men vote. Yeah, Donald Trump got more black men vote and 4% of black women vote, but still, it's not numbers that you want to praise. Historical numbers. When black people used to vote for the Republican Party, yes, Richard Nixon actually had more numbers than Donald Trump. Because some of Richard Nixon's policies, some of them were still liberal, but not for everyone. But some of them were liberal. Donald Trump's policies is racist. Two different streams. Even though Richard Nixon was but some of his policies were pretty liberal. He was one of those called like slightly conservative but liberal Republicans at the time when there were actual liberal Republicans, because that shit died out a long time ago. But Jerron, you're so wrong, dude. You so dumb. So dumb. So dumb. And try to outsmart Joy and try to act like an idiot. And she had you on the show while you work for the most divisive man, not just in politics, but just in human life. And you being fucking rude. Motherfucker, you can hide in a hole somewhere. And don't return, bitch. Because nobody doesn't want to look at you. And that's my take on Jerron. Another dumbass. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, appeared on The View today. And there's a clip. I didn't get the chance to watch it because I had something else to do. But let's just say Sonny questioned him, and here's what Curtis had to say.
Trump, and though involving Donald Trump, and though you support Biden, you said you turned down money actually from the Trump campaign, and you implied that the campaign gave Lil Wayne money in return for support. Do you think that was an attempt by the Trump campaign to secure the black male vote?
Absolutely, that was. You know, like, and I think just with the timing of it, like for me, they offered was 500,000 and went up to $1 million during the inauguration to attend the inauguration, and then, well, in Wayne's case, they was looking for people to publicly support him in different ways. When he done some things prior to that would fix in perception. And it was 500,000 and went up to $1 million during the inauguration to attend it.
So basically 50 Cent was offered some money to support Donald Trump. But I guess that talk with Chelsea Handler that Candace Owens got so mad about made him think. But I still don't trust 50 because of that tweet. We still remember. And Wayne can go fuck himself. But all these black men supporting Donald Trump because of his platinum plan, it's a scam. Donald Trump don't care about you. He never cared about black people. If he did, he would apologize to the 5 black men, young boys at the time, during the Central Park 5 case, which they know they was exonerated, and still he haven't apologized to them after taking out a whole motherfucking ad saying that, they should be to the death penalty, and they were only kids at the time. I don't trust him. I don't trust Wayne. I'm pissed with Diddy. With this Black People's Party, and you're going to have divisive ass Republicans, not sensible conservatives, but divisive ass Republicans in the party. Not interested. Not interested. Not at all. I see you. And I'm going to leave it as that. But we have to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay vigilant. Even though Joseph Robinette Biden is now the president-elect, we have to still keep engaged and still keep informed. And yes, we want policy, we want all of this stuff, but we got to tackle COVID first. Because there's a lot of cases rising up. People are dying. Almost 300,000 people are dead. And we got to keep that in mind. And we can worry about all the other stuff too, all the policies, all the racial reckoning, everything. Not because of the dumbass progressives, they said that, because it's a human thing, because this shit is real. And America needs to be healed. America needs to be cleansed. America needs a reset. We need a reset. And that's what it is. But I'm going to just leave that with you. So stay informed. Stay engaged, stay safe, wash your hands, social distance, and wear your mask. But until then, you have a good night.